So there's not much to that, which would be a good thing if it worked, because I don't want a lot to it. I just want to keep it from rubbing up against whatever caused it in the first place. And then yesterday I noticed on the inside of the next toe over, there's a red line, but no pain, so I'm going to leave that alone. So I am going down the Blue Blaze where I camped at the junction of the PCT to get some water before I break camp. Next water source isn't for like 7 miles or so, so that's a little too far to go, even though I've had about 1.5 liters this morning. I wasn't videoing last night because you didn't miss much. I just got water, set up camp, but I did talk to the other hiker for a long time, which was nice to have company. It's not something I normally do, and I do get camera shy. I don't tell anyone I am vlogging my hike, and I don't usually video around other people. You know, I usually just try to enjoy their company and be where I am, not worrying about filming everything. And the other thing that happened last night is that I smashed my knee going uphill after mocking the blowdowns. I smashed my knee off of a branch of a down pine tree. It wasn't moving. I still couldn't avoid it, and it wasn't going anywhere. It was a stationary object, pretty heavy. So, I mean, it hurt as I was hiking, however many more miles, 1 or 2, to camp. I just thought, well, that's unfortunate. It hurts. But I didn't think much of it until I stopped at camp, and I sat around and talked for a while. And then I realized my knee was stiffening up. And if you've ever slammed your elbow, it stiffens up, or any joint on your body that you have a high impact, collision with. Sometimes it stiffens up, but I was worried last night that it was going to be hard to hike on, or fearful that it was going to be too challenging to hike on, because it did smart, but when I was hiking after I did it, it felt fine. It's not too swollen. I took 4 ibuprofen last night and 4 this morning, so walking down to the water with no pack feels good. I'm just aware of it. It's stiff, but hopefully it loosens up throughout the day, and by tomorrow I'm not even thinking about it. But that's the stage where I am at my hike. Every time I bump my toe, or every time I almost twist my ankle, every little ailment to my body, I'm concerned about an injury that could potentially end my hike. I've invested a good amount into this, and I've wanted to finish it ever since I thought I wanted to start it. So we'll break camp at 7:15. I was hoping to break camp at 7, but 7:15 is still a lot earlier than I have been leaving camp. So I just camped maybe 0.1 down this Blue Blaze. The water source is about 800 feet. And we are back on the PCT, trying to make about 25 miles to get as close as we can to the road to get to Bucks Lake. There is something about the dirt. The dirt is so dry. It's not sand, but it reminds me of the desert, because it just gets everywhere in your socks. If you put your pack down, it stays and clings to your pack. So I could see, if it stays like this the whole 600 miles, where it could wear on you, because you are just dirty and dusty. So there's our first blowdown today. Not mocking it, don't wipe me out blowdown, but maybe 10 or 12 yesterday in a short few miles, and 1 today. Probably haven't even gone a mile. Here's another one, but it's broken, easy to walk through. The trail is quite messy. Gonna have to take my time. Don't want to trip and fall. The bird's telling me, be careful. So here's the burn scar that they're talking about from the fire. There's a second blowdown there I have to step over. Now, there's been others, but you can walk around them or they're broken so you can walk through them. The trail can get messy, but for the most part, it's what I've shown you. It's easy to read and follow. And sometimes you have to step over some blowdowns. So the evidence of what happened is obvious. From the comments I've read, there are volunteers making an effort to come down here and clear the blowdowns, and there are Forest Service workers that are here working to clear the blowdowns that people have talked to. And people are walking the trail, so it's not like the trail is hidden under brush and you can't see it because no one's walked this in years, which some of the signs indicate. It's only 8 o'clock. Just been hiking for 45 minutes. But I can already feel the heat of the sun bearing down on me, so you gotta respect it. It's been hot the last few days. It seems too early for it to feel like that, but it does. Really, when I was getting up between 6 and 7, I could feel the dead air and the heat. Never really cooled off. Last night I slept in my underwear, under my quilt, but with all 4 vestibules open. So I just walked across a paved road, and it was a little overgrown on the other side and just a little hard to see the trail where it was going. Okay, so I've been reading about this part in the comments. So here at this dirt road junction, they say the next 3.4 miles north on the PCT are heavily overgrown with lots of blowdowns. So the PCTA is strongly recommending you at least walk down this dirt road, take a right on the next dirt road, and bypass this 3.4. And they're asking you to volunteer if you can, which I think you should if you're able to. Doesn't have to be here. It can be anywhere on any trail that you're able to volunteer. I didn't want to miss this water source at all. So the most dangerous thing I've done in this recommended detour is go down this trail, quotation marks, to get to this water source. Now I think I found the dirt road first. I think this is it. I'll try to go down this to the right and actually take the recommended detour. But I think I hear the water. But that was sketchy. It started off with maybe 50 feet of trail and then just 100 miles of bushwhacking down a steep ridge. So do I hear water? I do hear water down there. How do I get down there? Okay, so it's marked by that candy stripe, but here's a safe way down to the water. Because it was so brutal coming down this way, and it would be a brutal climb to go up, we are going to take the recommended dirt road walk around. We were going to take the dirt road. I couldn't find the turnoff. I didn't look very hard. I didn't go far enough. And I decided not to, so I went back and I walked the trail for a mile to get to this water source, because I think water is important. It's hot out, and you could get turned around or off trail, or it could just take longer than you think. Because going down the Blue Blaze to the water source, you cross the dirt road, and I had read comments, people said that they camped on this dirt road near the water source, so I kind of figured it would. So since I found the dirt road, and I was willing to walk on it earlier, and it would be such a pain in the neck to get back up there, we're going to take the dirt road. Sorry if that doesn't make sense. I hope you're caught up. Once we get back to the PCT at like mile 1248, they say it's a big pain in the neck to walk through that section of the trail that you have to walk through anyway because of blowdowns. Weeks ago, it was 150 blowdowns. The last comment says they counted 90. I only had to climb over 3 things in that last mile. I stepped over probably a dozen, but I feel like some people are just exaggerating. So this looks like it would be a trail crew working to clear out of the trail, which is supposed to be 0.5 away from me. We're just working to keep this dirt road maintained and clear so they have access up and down it. You know, the dirt road, I understand, would be a priority for emergencies to get up and down, and then you'd clear the trail secondary. And we are back on the red line. Got to talk to RJ, and I actually saw him working on the PCT when I was crossing the desert. It intersects with the road that goes to Cabazon, and I saw him and his crew at Whitewater Reserve Conservation. So he transferred, and now he's up here working on this project. And I guess there's 10 other guys on the crew. I only saw him and one other guy, but they're doing what they can to clear this out. It's a big old mess. He said it's been about 5 years, and that's when the vegetation just shoots right up. He mentioned they have to keep the road clear first just so they can get up there to do the work to clear the trail. So we said that it took them like an hour and a half to get up there from camp. So I'm north of the river and the bridge, and there's only been one messy blowdown right here. So there's still 10 or 12 miles to the first access point to Bucks Lake, and then I think another 4 or 5 miles to where the recommended drive around ends. So maybe it's 16 or 18 miles of trail where you could still encounter blowdowns. And in the past, people were talking about it being a big mess, but I'll be honest, it hasn't been bad the last few days. The comments in Far Out don't reflect the effort that the trail crews have put in to clean it up. And the PCTA should change their recommendation to recommending you do walk through this whole section and you just take that dirt road for the 3.5 miles if you want to. And I would even say walk to the water source. I went over 3 blowdowns, and then just go down the blue trail to the water source and then take the fire road for 2.5 miles. And that's it. Other than that, this is just like every other trail. Okay, so this is a challenging blowdown. It looks like some people are going up and over there, but I'm just gonna try to make my way over it. We'll see if I live to regret that. Not too bad. But if you read the comments, you'd think that all day would be stuff like this every 50 feet, but it really hasn't been that. All day has just been very dry dirt, very hot. It is interesting to question what the hottest day has been. Today, yesterday, the day before that. But there's plenty of beautiful water today. Well, at least it's in the shade. So I'm just trying to be fair because I am an advocate of not recommending going around this section. This is one of the more awkward, peculiar blowdowns that I've had to go over, but it's doable. Now I have long legs. I get it. And it's a little overgrown here, but it's just 12 or 15 feet. So it's not a big deal. You're not going to lose the trail. Well, it's after 5 p.m. and we're still climbing. A lot of climbing today. I don't usually look at the elevations, but I might be curious to see how much climbing we did. This is an interesting set of blowdowns. Going right down the trail. So kind of like a water crossing, but not. Just a blowdown. But not impossible to get over. What does seem impossible is getting to the top of this climb. There's one, they're too fast. But it's cool to see, it's like a swarm of dragonflies.
Like climbing as much as we did.
Well, we made it to what looked like a high point, and then we went up and down a few small roller coasters. We signed Buck's logbook to let everybody know we didn't drive around this section. And now it seems like we are cruising on flat to downhill, flat to downhill. So I feel like we accomplished something today. The high point was around 5,999.9, whatever. I was talking to some people I've been hiking with today, and I'm gonna look. One person thought the low point might have been 39, but also thought that we climbed more than 2,000. So I'm really curious. Today was a climb. Today was a serious climb in the heat. So I want to know from the low point to the high point. I'm camped about 45 minutes, 1.5 miles from the road into Bucks Lake. And the road to Bucks Lake is like 2 miles, so that's another hour. So I should be able to take my time, wake up, and get there in 1 hour and 45 minutes, no matter what time I leave. Like the same thing happened on my left foot, so there's a crease, a hot spot right there on my big toe. I'm not going to show you because I put my sock back on, but I wrapped my big toe on my right foot in that paper tape today, and it felt fine. So, I mean, I had the hot spot on the back of my right heel near my Achilles. Both big toes, one day after another, have had hot spots and like creases and red lines on them. I don't know if it's the dirt in this section getting into my shoes or if it's the socks. So for what it's worth, I looked it up, and the lowest elevation was at the Feather something creek, and that was 29 something, and the highest elevation was just after the Lookout Spring at the Lookout Junction, and that was 59. So I don't know what the total elevation gain was, but we went up 3,000 feet elevation today. Nothing makes me more tired than this. If it doesn't already exist, someone should make a blowing up an air mattress ASMR.